My mother was Disney. I speak unoriginal. What'd he say? Horrible things about my mother in a castle. What up, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about the latest Pixar movie ever to come, Onward. I was really excited about this movie. It was probably actually one of the most anticipated movies I ever wanted to see in 2020. It's finally original, thank God. It's just we get sequel after sequel after sequel. Incredibles 2 gets a pass because first of all, it was great, and second of all, it had to come because we wanted an Incredibles 2, and we didn't get that for 15 years. 14. When I saw the trailers, I was really pumped, but then as I find the plot, what the plot's gonna be, I'm just like, okay, this might be okay, not great, because it's just a pair of legs. You really want to get emotion out of pants. And then I got a lot more afraid when I saw the director. The director is Dan Scanlon. I'm not gonna say he's a bad director or anything, but when I watched Monsters University, the only Pixar movie he directed, besides this, Monsters University was bad. I did not like the movie. I only liked the last 30 minutes, and the others was just dull, not funny, not creative. So, after seeing the director, I was a little afraid. But when I just watched the movie, just as a movie, I really like this one. I think it's really good. I honestly am really shocked that I actually liked it. There are issues, but they're not really big issues. They're just issues that make it a little down, makes Pixar's rank a little lower. Let's just talk about the positivities. First of all, we gotta talk about the animation. The animation is wonderful. It's spectacular. Literally, the backgrounds are photorealistic. I feel like just in the beginning of The Good Dinosaur, they just started to get better and better and better and better and better. And it's just a blast. Even if I didn't like the movie, I would have literally just loved looking at it. It looks so realistic to the point where the ground is just I feel like they just put cartoon characters in, and they were just shooting it the whole time. That's probably where the budget came from, and then they just put in cartoon characters. I really feel like that's what happened. And then the voice acting, like always, is great. Pixar's always good. If they don't make a great movie, they always have voice acting and animation top tier. The humor as well is pretty great. This movie's more of awkward and visual humor. It's mostly that, and it was pretty good. It's finally original. Like I said, I just thank you, Pixar. Finally, you're doing something original. I'm really excited for Soul, by the way. And you better not muck it up. It looks like it's Inside Out plus Coco. Just all that combined. And then the message of brother bonding. And this fully understood what this turmoil is. I wouldn't say the older brother is the more embarrassing person. It's usually the younger one. But the way they did it, I really thought that Chris Pratt was kind of awkward and embarrassing. Not annoying. But the chemistry is great. They obviously worked off each other from Infinity War and Endgame. And it made a lot of sense. They didn't talk in dialogue in Endgame, but they did in Infinity War. Which makes a lot of sense with Onward being really good when it comes to chemistry and brother bonding. And I love the idea of the fantasy world. The idea itself of having a suburban fantasy world is genius. And the message of electronics and how it benefits you most of the time, and then sometimes it doesn't really benefit you. Ironically, I'm making a video with electronics, but it's just it makes sense. Especially, you can make an argument about that. It's kind of like a commentary. It's pretty good commentary when you think about it. It's where, there was magic in the world where we didn't really use a lot of cell phones and phones in general. But now, as the world progresses, we now really are kind of attached to it. And we don't, realize the magic in the world, the trees, the sky, and all that. And all that is wonderful. I think it's there are really good things in this movie. Then we get to the bad stuff. And they're not painful. they're not even that bad. It's just, first of all, the animation on the characters. I had the same problem with The Good Dinosaur, and when I say that, people are always like, oh, The Good Dinosaur sucks. I actually thought it was alright. The animation worked a lot better than Good Dinosaur. It looked really awkward and really cartoony. It looked kind of like Gary Larson cartoons, where it does not match the source material, or no, doesn't match the background. And here, it matches a lot better, but not to a point where it's convincing. It just looks like you just stuck cartoon characters in a real world. It's kind of like Space Jam or any movie that has humans and cartoon characters. It doesn't look like it's there, but it's improving. It's really improving. And I'd say the first 20 minutes, and then the message of the father and son, that was kind of hard to do. When you have a pair of legs, it's not really easy to get into the lower half of some of these, but I'm sorry, I have to make this an R-rated review. You cannot get into that. The movie tries hard to make you feel a connection with this father, but when you see just his thighs just, tapping and dancing and all that, they try really hard to make this work. It probably can be better in a second viewing, and I might actually watch this again, because I only watched this one alone, and I don't know, man. It's just, that was a little off, and it could have been a lot stronger.